Hey YouTube, Jack of all trades here again, Master of None channel. Today we're going to go over my thoughts on the Osprey Talon 11 backpack. It's the multi-sport backpack, as the name implies. It's an 11-liter pack. Highly recommended. It's a multi-sport pack because it's recommended for use for things like jogging, cycling, day hikes, very short day hikes. Some of the stuff that I really like about it, the stow on the go trekking pole system, this hip belt on here. It has the seamless design that Osprey's kind of known for at this point. A very, very comfortable hip belt. Like I said, the seamless design, the straps. I like a really tight hip belt on my backpacks, and this helps. You can kind of grab the straps and push it forward and really cinch it down. And with that seamless design, it forms right to your hip and makes it very comfortable. It's nice and well padded, not super heavily padded, but enough for the size of the pack. With how comfortable this is, you're not going to be able to overload this pack with the volume that the pack actually has. And that, in combination with the AirScape back panel, it's reasonably rigid, so anything that you put inside the pack isn't going to poke through and poke your back and make it uncomfortable. It's, what is that? It's a good 3/8 of an inch thick, almost a half an inch thick, and it's actually from the factory somewhat contoured to the shape of your back. Like, it's got this little lumbar support here, and then it dishes back in towards the pack. Very comfortable, very well fitting. I've used some extremely cheap packs in the past that don't have any kind of ventilation back here, and even if you're wearing the proper layers and the proper clothing, the pack just makes your back sweat. And if you're hiking in early spring or late fall, where you could get pretty warm during the day, but then in the evening it starts to cool off and you take your pack off, you're going to be really, really cold. But with this, it reduces the amount your back sweats and makes for a more comfortable experience. The hip belt does have these two pockets, one on each side. They are not adequate for cell phones, at least modern cell phones. This is an S24 Ultra, and it's not even close to fitting. Even if I didn't have this case on there, it doesn't fit in here. I've tried it. That's why I'll get a, or not get, I have a shoulder strap clip for my phone that I just hang it on my shoulder strap. I'll hang my phone on one side and my DJI camera on the other side for, videotaping some of my hikes or some of the time on trail. While we're on this side, the straps, shoulder straps. This is the front part of your stow on the go trekking pole system. There's two ways I've found you can store your trekking poles with this. I don't know if both are recommended by Osprey, but you can leave this loose and shove your trekking poles through it and into the back loop. Or, you leave this a little loose here and you wrap it around and hook the little nub of the elastic through the other loop, and for a couple of minutes it's adequate to hold the trekking poles. I wouldn't recommend walking long distances like that because you jostle it a little bit, it'll pop out. But for quick storage, you just sheath your trekking poles almost like you would a sword, and it holds it reasonably well. Your sternum strap is adjustable. I've noticed for my size and where I like my straps to sit, where it's most comfortable for me, I'm always right at the top. Even I would like it a little bit higher, but my dimensions are really weird. I have really long arms, really long legs compared to a very short torso, so backpacks kind of fit me weird compared to my height. It has your, oh, almost forgot. You got your little assault whistle here. Yeah, comes standard on most, if not all, Osprey packs. This little snack pouch, I call it. I'm not sure exactly what they call it. I think they assume it's like a cell phone pouch. I almost never use it. It's adequate for like a small snack, maybe a little bit of cash or something, but the way that it collapses and folds down to button up, you have to have something flat in there because just the geometry of it makes the button pop open. Because you're folding it like this, you can't have anything long or rigid in there, because like I said, as soon as you put a little bit of force on that, the button is definitely not hard enough, or not hard enough, sticky enough, I guess, for lack of a better term. It does pop open really easily, so don't put anything super important to you in that pocket, because if you lean over, it's going to fall out, and it's not a very audible pop when it does open up, so sometimes you won't hear it, you won't notice it open up. But that's one of the negatives for the Osprey packs, but it's really kind of trivial. Like I don't even use this pocket. I'd actually prefer it not be on there for a little bit of weight savings, and it's almost a nuisance because you have the hip belt pockets, and this is just unnecessary because of the geometry of it, making it pop open like that. And obviously it's not going to fit a phone or any kind of GPS system, which you're going to attach to one of these loops solidly, or attach to your pack itself very solidly. Definitely not recommended for anything super important. Maybe a snack or like a drink mix pouch or something. Your hydration loops, they're semi-elastic. Like this one has a little bit of elastic. Some of the other like actual backpacking packs have an elastic loop with a rigid static loop underneath it. This one just has the elastic. One thing I really like about their smaller packs is they include the load lifter straps. I like a pack that really hugs my body and fits really tight. I don't like my packs to move at all once I have them cinched down and I'm starting to walk or starting to cycle, whatever I'm doing. These really help with that. I get my hip belt all set up, I get my shoulder straps all set up, and the sternum strap, and then I'll just cinch it right down with the load lifter straps and pulls it really tight. For your main backpacking packs, that's a little bit different than how you would use those, but for this and for the purposes that this pack serves, that's how I use the load lifter straps in combination with the rest of the straps on the pack. On this pack, we do have an external hydration pouch, which, you know, normally you're not going to be taking this in and out too often just to clean it and whatnot. I don't use a hydration pouch. I use kind of a homemade, cobbled together inline filter system that screws on the top of a water bottle. So I don't get a whole lot of use out of this pouch, but it's nice being accessible from the outside. No zippers, nothing. And it's on the inside of the pack from your airscape panel. So that adds a little bit of extra support from oddly shaped items inside the pack. Has this little plastic hanger that hooks through the loop of your hydration pouch, and that runs the full length. So even if you wanted to use that for another area of storage or separation between gear, it's adequate for that. But just remember, it doesn't have any zippers or any closures on it. I really like Osprey's grab handles. They're nice and sturdy, very thin, so they don't get in the way of anything. You can kind of tuck them right in your hydration area. Flipping over to the other side, the construction of the pack is 100D ripstop nylon for the upper, and the lower is 400D ripstop nylon. They both have Osprey's standard DWR coating. This has a ice hook or ice axe loop. A lot of times if I'm storing my trekking poles for long distances, like I don't need them for a while, I'll just store them right in here. I'll stick the tips down through the nylon loop and then wrap the elastic around the upper portion. But this has a very nice one-handed cinch, so you just pull on the little nub, and then has a one-handed release also. So there's a little elastic band, you just pull on it and it releases. They're smaller Talon packs. I believe it's either the 33 and under, or the 33 is the first one that doesn't have the reflector loop and the lid lock. I'll have to look at that and let you know in my next video, but I'm pretty sure the 33 that I have doesn't have the lid lock. But this one, being so small, it doesn't have a pouch on the front. It just has an elastic like cinch strap on it. Very nice for like a wet rain jacket or whatever. But it does have a buckle on the top. This is even nice for like if you want to cinch the contents of your pack down. You just release it, fill your pack up, and then cinch the whole pack down. It'll actually pull the front of the pack almost in on itself. So that's a nice additional feature. It's an extra cinch strap for you if you like the pack tight and snug like I do. Speaking of cinch straps, around your water bottle pouches, you have mesh water bottle pouches. It's mesh on the top, but it's nylon on the bottom, which is the same 100D nylon as the rest of the upper. Unlike the larger pouches, or unlike the larger packs, this doesn't have the option to feed under your water bottle pouch. So just be aware of that when you're putting your water bottle in and you cinch it down. Don't cinch it even tighter when the water bottle's not in there, because you're not going to get it back in. Yeah, like I said, one on each side. And this has a nice slip ring on that cinch strap. So unlike a nylon loop that it's feeding through, it's not going to bind up. It'll actually cinch the excess out of that lower part as well. Got it all twisted. Yeah. It's almost like speed laces. It'll cinch it right out. The main enclosure of the pack opens about halfway down the pack and makes the whole pack really accessible. You have your nice heavy duty mesh inner pocket for, you know, valuables or keys or whatever. It does have a built-in key clip, they call it. It's nice if you got something valuable that you don't want to get lost down in the bottom of this pouch, or your keys or whatever. You just hook it right on there. It's nice to unhook too. It's nice and flexible, so you don't have to fiddle around with it to get your keys or valuables off of it. This is actually some of the most durable mesh I've seen on one of these mesh pockets ever. It's very thick and heavy. I can appreciate that, because I've had these pockets just blow right out on me at times on cheaper packs. Also, on the back side of that, there is an outside accessible pouch that's the same size. For such a small pack, it's very feature rich, very useful for, like I said, small short day trips, running, if you're into running with a pack on. I don't believe that you could overload this pack with so much weight that it would be uncomfortable. With how much padding there is on these straps and how comfortable the AirScape back panel is, and the seamless hip belt, with the size of the pack and these features being similar to larger packs that I also have, you could put as much weight in here as you can fit, and it would be very difficult to make it uncomfortable. So that is my experience and my thoughts on this pack. If you like the review, if you appreciate the information, don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Enjoy your day.